guys, this is Anthony from Anthony's Customs, and this time we're going to be looking at the SOTA Street Fighter Round 4 Remy figure. He's probably my least favorite Street Fighter character ever. Yeah, maybe that's being a little bit too harsh, but I don't like him very much at all. But the figure's still pretty good, so we're going to go ahead and talk about him. He stands just under 7 inches tall. Pretty good size for the figure. These are the 5 different variants. This is the player one right here. In the gray with bluish white pants, black with brown pants, brown with tan pants, and orangish red with turquoise pants. They're all kind of goofy looking to me. I guess these two are okay, but I don't like the other ones. I don't like Remy very much. Oh well, if you notice, the brown one does not have the emblem on his chest. That is not an error. It came that way. Otherwise, they all have the same paint app, other than color, of course. This one has blue soles on his shoes. This one has gray soles on his shoes. This one has brown. This one has pinkish color. And this one, the regular one, has black. We're going to look at this one as far as the review goes. Let's look at the accessories first. He's got 2 different heads with sculpted hair. And the hair is not soft, so I assume that's why they gave us 2 different hairstyles. Because it just doesn't look good either way, and they wanted to make me mad. It looks like Play-Doh hair to me. I don't know why. It doesn't look like it fits in with the rest of the collection. So I don't care for it. This one doesn't let the head move much at all, just a little bit. This one is fairly limiting also, but not nearly as much because it doesn't go down as far. But the work they did with the paint is still okay. The eyes are painted pretty well. And it does look like Remy. So there's the head. He's got this non-Sonic Boom accessory, which looks almost exactly like Guile Sonic Boom, but it's not. And this snaps onto his fist. It goes on backwards for those of you having trouble, because he does like a backhand fist attack. And that's how that goes on there. So it's pretty cool. It's translucent, and it actually gets darker as farther it goes back, rather than darker up front like most of them are. So that's kind of cool. So he has 2 fists, and they have sculpted rings on them, sculpted fingernails. The nails are not painted on Remy for some reason. Some of them are, some of them aren't. If you look at this version, the black one, he's got painted nails. And this one does not. I don't know why. He's got 2 of these open hands. They all have the rings on them, and these are actually painted. For some reason, the fists on this one are not painted. Maybe it was an error, maybe they just didn't do it, I don't know. And then he has 2 karate chop style hands. So 6 hands in total, 2 heads, and 1 Sonic Boom. Good set of accessories. As far as articulation goes, the head I already showed you is pretty limited. Shoulders are actually pretty limited too, due to the sculpt, the way this kind of hangs over. It's not terrible. He can still get pretty good range of motion out of it, but it is still kind of limited. Ball disc shoulder with a bicep swivel, double jointed elbows, wrist rotation with a pivot, which is stuck. There we go. And he does have the zippers painted all the way around. Nice belt detail. The paintwork's pretty good. There's some good shading on the red. All of the different versions have shading on the clothing, so that's a nice touch. They did a good job painting the emblem. I mean, he looks like a decent figure. He's just not my cup of tea. He does have this horrible ankle thing. We'll get to that when we get down there. His ab crunch is pretty good. Goes fairly far back. Although the way it's made, it's not as good as the other ones. The zipper doesn't continue through the sculpt, and it looks a little awkward. Going forward is not as bad, but the way he's so tall, and then it's down here instead of in the middle, I think that kind of hurts the posability, because it just looks a little bit awkward. It's not horrible, though. Waist swivel, T-jointed, ball-jointed hips, ball disc hips. Kind of limited, though. That's why when I used this guy to make Spider-Man, I rebuilt the hips to give him a better range of motion. That's as far forward as you can go without bringing the leg out to the side, and even then, it's still pretty limited. Thigh swivel built in, double jointed knees, ankle pivot, foot swivel, and a toe pivot. He has gigantic feet. Really, really big. I know they're big in the game, but these might be pushing the limit just a bit. And these pants down here are soft plastic to allow for the range of motion, but they're not soft enough to really make a difference. They just look goofy. They don't match the sculpt perfectly, and the paint's way off on all of them, other than this one's probably the best, but it's still off. So I don't care for that. That's another reason I gave him all new feet when I made Spider-Man, because these are just bad. Technically there's a shin swivel in there too, but it just looks bad. No matter what you do, even though the sculpt work is good on the boots, and it's technically good on the pants, it just looks really, really bad. So that's another reason I don't particularly care for Remy. If you're a completist or like Remy or like the game that he was in, then go ahead and pick him up. He's a fine figure other than the lower legs. But if you don't particularly care for Remy, then I'm going to say he's a pass, because for me, I wouldn't have bought him at all if I wasn't getting the whole line. So there you have it, guys. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for the rest of the SOTA Street Fighter figure reviews, and in the meantime, keep collecting.